everyone, and welcome to another episode of Radiant Central, and I'm your host, Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So today I want to talk about BO. I want to talk about body odor, specifically the body odor that comes out of underneath people's armpits that a lot of people have issues with, and a lot of people have to wear deodorant and things like that to try and prevent it. And so obviously personal hygiene is like the number one thing that will help to combat body odor or prevent it. So you want to make sure obviously that you're taking at least one shower a day, maybe 2 showers a day. You want to wear clean clothing, things like that. There are also certain things in your diet that could actually be contributing to the issue of body odor. And so one thing that I want to mention is years ago, I did a raw vegan diet. As most people know, I was on a raw vegan diet for a good 4 years. And during that time, I never had to wear deodorant. Never. I never had any issue with body odor. And for me, that was pretty life-changing, because before that, I was on just a regular vegetarian diet, but a very strict vegetarian diet, and for a good 20 years. And I always had issues with BO. I always had to wear deodorant to prevent it. But when I transitioned and switched on to a raw vegan diet, suddenly I didn't have any BO. I didn't have to wear deodorant. I didn't have to even think about it. It was like, it was out of my life. And I found that to be quite interesting. And as time went by, I also would get a lot of feedback from people that would join my monthly 10-day juice fasting program or the 7-day raw food challenge. And they too would say, suddenly they don't need to be wearing deodorant. Suddenly they're not getting body odor anymore. And so I noticed that this was happening for a lot of people. And it made me start wondering, what is it in the diet that might be contributing to this issue? Why is it some people get it and some people don't? And why is it suddenly when I change my diet that I don't have this burden anymore? So a lot of vegans will say it's because of animal products and animal foods and meats and things like that. And I question that, because before I was on a raw vegan diet and before my BO suddenly went away, I was on a vegetarian diet, right? I was on a strict vegetarian diet, and I never ate meat. I never ate any seafood or fish, nothing. The only animal foods I was eating was eggs once in a while and yogurt, but I wasn't eating much dairy, nothing. So I always kind of questioned, is that really what's causing BO for so many people? And when I got off of the raw vegan diet and started adding in animal foods and meats and things like that back into my diet, I wasn't experiencing any BO either. I was still free of it. It was not something I even thought about. But as I progressed with transitioning off of a full raw diet and adding in more and more cooked foods and cooked whole foods, I started noticing that there was days where I would actually get BO. And I suddenly started having to think, okay, what's going on here, and what kind of deodorant should I be using, and why is this happening? And I started tracking it, and I started seeing exactly what it is that was giving me body odor. And what it was grains. A lot of times I hear from people that are doing like a high protein diet or a paleo diet or an Atkins diet or any kind of high fat, high protein diet where they're eliminating a lot of carbohydrates. They too say they don't have any BO anymore. And so I started seeing that there was specific grains that were contributing to the problem. I noticed that it's not all grains. Things like rice have never given me an issue, but the times when I would have oats or I'd have quinoa, things like that, then I would have BO, especially if I wasn't wearing deodorant. And at that time, I didn't think I needed to be wearing deodorant, so I would really notice when it would start creeping in. And it was an interesting thing for me too, because living in Southeast Asia, I don't eat oats or quinoa or most grains. I don't eat that every day. It's once in a while. It's usually an occasion, because these kind of grains are imported. It's not a local food. It's very expensive. So I would really notice it when I would have these things, how it would just affect my body odor and all of that. So I thought I'd share that with you, because a lot of people wonder, why is it some days they have more body odor than other days, and what is it coming from, and all of that. And so one thing that I suggest is people doing an experiment, especially if they are very prone to getting BO, is to do an experiment where they decrease grains and flours and foods that are made with flour, foods that are made with whole grains or refined grains, and see how that affects their body odor and see if that makes a difference. Because for a lot of people, it's not about actually completely eliminating it, but just decreasing it, having it once in a while, and just not overeating it. And so that's something you can try out, and it's not, I have to say, it's not just the refined stuff, it's also the whole grains. So do try that out. And also there's other foods too that can contribute to body odor as well. And things like garlic and onions are definitely any kind of very, like any kind of spice that has a strong smell to it can also contribute to body odor. And sometimes even different herbs, different seeds, things like that. I know when I was actually on a raw vegan diet, I used to eat a lot of fenugreek seed, especially the fenugreek sprouts. I love them. I love the taste of it. I just adored it, but I stank whenever I ate it. So I had to actually stop eating it completely, because the moment I'd eat it, I could smell it like through my pores, like my whole body would just smell like fenugreek. So I had to stop that. So sometimes we're prone to giving off certain body odors from certain foods we're eating. And also too, another thing that can contribute to it is caffeine or any kind of stimulant, anything that makes you sweat. So I find chocolate or raw cacao that has theobromine, it can, for a lot of people, it can actually give them body odor because it makes them kind of overproduce sweat. It's not like a lot of people don't get body odor from just exercising or sweating because it's hot, but when they're drinking a lot of coffee or a lot of caffeine or a lot of chocolate and their body's kind of amped up, then they produce body odor from that. So that too, you should experiment with too. If you find you're drinking a lot of tea or a lot of coffee or chocolate or soda, things like that, either cut it out and see how that affects your system, or just decrease it and see how that goes. All right, so I also want to mention too that the 100 video special, I put everything on sale for my 100th video that I did yesterday. There's a sale going on, 10% discount at Radiant Central on programs like the 10-day juice fasting program, the 7-day raw food challenge, coaching with me, acne program. Everything's on sale at Radiant Central till Thursday, June 12th, 2014, midnight Eastern Standard Time, 10% discount on everything. And the coupon code is 100 videos. So we're celebrating that I did 100 videos. So we're on to the next 100 videos. And so if you want to join any of the programs, do take advantage of the 10% discount, okay? Coupon code 100 videos. I'm wishing you guys a super fabulous day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.